everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:07, and please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I see on the agenda staff recognition.
We don't have any recognitions this month, but you'll see in my director's report that our summer aide, Claire Sullivan, had been recognized by her college for her outstanding achievement. So I did get her a Amazon gift card, and we all signed a card, but we're very proud of her. It's a freshman year. It's a lot to take in.
That's wonderful.
So, yeah,
Congratulations to Claire.
Not a traditional recognition.
Yes, no, it's good. We'll take any good news. That's great. Before we move into old business, I just want to thank everybody for coming out on this stormy, rainy night. Since I was unable to make our normally scheduled meeting, which is usually held on the third Tuesday. So thank you for your flexibility.
Excuse me, what college was that one more time? That she was recognized by?
I don't know where she's going to college. I didn't. Did I note that? It might be.
Okay, it might be in the record.
No, it just says that she was awarded the Arthur Ellis Ham Prize for Outstanding Academic Record in her first year in college. So,
Yep.
Sure. Okay, August's action items. Let me get those out of the minutes here. I will say there's one action item. I still need to meet with Yvette going over the staff evaluation, so maybe we can set up something at the end of today. Other ones, Granite Steps. Yvette, you were going to receive the scan report, which I think you sent the scan report to all of us.
I sent it to you, yes.
And library director to contact the original steps vendor to complete the step project. Where are we with that?
We are working on that because it's dependent on the engineer who performed the scan to schedule it with the step vendor and work together to have that repaired, and then the stairs have to be removed, repaired, replaced.
And I was not at the last meeting, so I apologize if this was in the minutes and I missed it, but will they be covering the cost of that repair, or was that?
I have to go back and see. I know you voted on the scan funds. So, but I really need to go back and check with Joanne.
Okay.
The vendor who did the scan was recommending a different company to work with.
Okay.
But it's in flux right now, but
Okay.
it is moving forward.
Okay, great. Thank you. Were there any other August action items? No.
I didn't have.
Okay. Okay, the next item is SMP. I have a note here saying MYA and MOU. I would like to, with the board's permission, reach back out to Paul McCallie and further discuss our interest in the MYA site and just see sort of where that is in the big picture, where it falls into his vision of the town and other projects that are coming forward, just so we can kind of get an idea. Are we, should we postpone our investigation for a year? Are we able to start looking at this? Where are we at? So, but I wanted to check with you before I reached out to him. And I also wanted to ask him about the memo of understanding that Janet had drafted and we had approved that we gave to them, which is kind of hanging out there in limbo. So, so I'm coming to you to get your thoughts, permission to do so, that sort of thing. Any ideas? Karen?
Well, we're waiting to hear from the town, is that correct?
Well, yeah, I'd like to kind of pursue that a little bit.
So if nothing else, that would just alert the town that so much other stuff is going on.
I know. All right.
That I'm sure that maybe
Okay.
saying something might be,
Okay. Yeah.
hello.
All right. So I just, before reaching out to the town and anything like that, I just wanted to make sure everybody was on board, see if there was any concern. So I will do that. Okay. For the strategic plan, I've been thinking about this a lot. We had a great meeting with some interesting conversation. I don't feel like I really know what our next steps are. And I don't know if anybody else, I feel like Anne was kind of like, it's up to you what you want to do. But I feel like I need to know. I need to know from her, like, here are 2 or 3 options. Here's how we can pursue it. Here's how much it would cost. Like I need some direction. I don't know what other people are thinking about the strategic plan, but I think before we were to meet again or make a decision how to proceed, I'd like to see what are the actual steps, costs, who's involved, what does this look like going forward? I don't
Yeah.
I know she wants us to have a lot of say, but we're not the experts in this. Like I want some direction from expert.
I thought she said that she is going to send some more outline or something like a plan for us to discuss to proceed. I thought she gathered the information and then she was supposed to send something to us.
I don't know. I haven't received anything. Do you know anything about that? I had asked her, send us your bill, and she said that it was part of a grant that she'd already been funded to work with people in the community. So our meeting the other day was at no cost to us, but I'd like to know, like, what are our options? Like, what does a strategic plan look like before we meet again? Like, to have some more direction. So,
No, I agree.
Yeah, the only thing I remember her saying about our options were that she was giving us the words to discuss that are in that and that questionnaire that we filled out and so on, and just that we should think about that, but there wasn't any real.
yeah, I'd like more structure.
do that. Yes,
Yes, more
okay, yeah,
structure.
structure is
It's
good.
like to see, like, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Mike or Yvette.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to ask her for like, all right, let's say we did move forward with the strategic plan. Like, what's it look like? Timeline, forming committee. Like, I need something more before we do this.
So strategic plan, usually some are like very short-term goals, like you achieve, and some are like long-term, like ongoing. Like, for example, if there is an employee like training program, which is ongoing, they can do it in batches. So spread through the year. But if it's short-term, like setting up like the computers, is it accessible to all the public? Something like that. This is an example. So those are like the short-term goals, like whatever caters to the patrons and whatever is good for the Merrimack town. So yes, as you said, if she gives us some pointers to start, like you start here, you do this, or this is how it is done, then maybe we get some insight and we can have another word with her going down the line after we have gathered all those,
Yeah, I guess,
like a timeline.
I mean, I had done strategic planning stuff before, and usually it was like, we've got a group of people, some stakeholders all together, not just us, but there was sort of a format. There were maybe categories that you evaluated if those were good,
Yeah.
what focus you wanted the library to have. I just, yeah, I feel like we need some structure. So,
Yeah. Yeah, she talked about accumulating other inputs, community, patrons, users.
yeah, but that's
doing
really
a SWOT.
amorphous to me. I want like a plan. Like I want a plan for the plan, please. No, like, I can't go with the flow with my plan. I want a plan for this is how the process of creating the plan goes and what
Sure.
it looks like. And here's what the costs are. And if you don't want to do that, here's what the costs are. Like I feel like before we can move forward, we need to know what we're doing. I don't want to just have another meeting and gather information. I want to know where we're heading in this.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
okay.
So that's another action item for you.
For me, yes. I'm thrilled. Okay. Building maintenance project list. Yvette, is there anything you want to bring to our attention?
The carpet is being replaced
Yay!
this week.
Yeah, awesome.
Yay.
I've been sharing pictures to Facebook so you can see the progress. But that's the big one. Did you have
Okay.
questions about anything?
Any questions for Yvette on the project? No? We do need to talk about the CIP. Let's do that under your director's report. Okay. Trustee retreat. Well, that didn't work out. So everybody's like, we should postpone. We should postpone. I was like, no, no, no. Okay, finally we postponed. So Heaney suggested that early, and I was like, no, we're going for it. And then it didn't work. So I don't know if there's any interest in scheduling another date right now, or if we just want to wait until, yeah, till after things. Well, if you look at it this way, till after things calm down would be January. So I don't know what thoughts. You won't be available?
No,
Okay.
I have to travel. So
Okay. So is there any interest in trying to do a retreat in November, or do people want to put it off till January? Karen, I'm reading your expression and I'm thinking you're saying January to me, but I don't know.
I don't know, January is really kind of late.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know, maybe November.
November. Okay.
I don't know.
Well, we don't have to make a November decision today. We could, people could tell me what dates in November work for them, unless you all have your calendars in front of you and can do that immediately.
Are we only sticking with Saturday?
I don't think we have to. I think that was a choice because then people could spend a couple of hours versus starting at 7:00.
Okay.
But we don't have to. All right, give me some dates if you're thinking.
Is there a reason that October is out?
Um,
I'm just asking.
I don't, not
Not for
necessarily.
me. I could do, I guess.
I know that the Friends of the Library Book Fair is October 1st, so that wouldn't be an option. The weekend after that is Columbus Day weekend, so I don't know if people are busy and traveling for the long weekend. So then we're out to October 15th or 16th.
it's 29th October. I cannot make it.
Well, I can, if it's the weekend, I can do the weekend of the 15th or the weekend of the 22nd.
Janet?
I can too. I can do the 15th or 16th or the 22nd.
Yep.
Or the 23rd, I can do too.
I can't do the 23rd. Or
Okay.
I can if it's later in the afternoon.
Mike, any that the 15th or the 22nd? I have one thing I'd need to check before I could commit to one of those, but right now both of them look available, but I think I might have something, one of them. I can let you know.
No one's going to Poutine Fest?
Wait, when is that?
That's tickets are sold out. But of course.
Wow.
15th of October. They've been sold out.
Oh,
I
shoot.
was quite upset.
Where is that?
I think it's a Budweiser.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Well, you know what? You could make the trustee retreat and go to the festival if you wanted.
You can have
I'm
the
not
retreat
At
at
the,
the.
oh, there we go. We could.
There's that.
Saturday, I'll have to rely on a babysitter.
All right. So
Maybe
is it every Saturday bad for you?
Sunday
Okay.
morning is the best.
Yeah, that usually Sundays are tough for me. Do we want to try doing something during the week then?
I can do Mondays and maybe Tuesday evenings.
Well, so we have our next meeting on the 18th.
Yep.
So would we want to do the Tuesday after that, the 25th?
I could do that.
Can we have it at the meeting instead of the meeting?
No.
No. Well, I think that there are two different things, right? The monthly meeting is to deal with the actual business of the library, what's happening, what's going on right now. And the trustee retreat is an opportunity for us to reflect on what's going on, maybe talk about some goals and that sort of thing. So, yeah, that's the difference. So why don't, do you want to tentatively say the 25th?
So, Heaney, how are your evenings?
25th of what?
7. That too sometimes not available, but I'll make it if necessary. Yeah, week. I think during the week is okay because it just goes with the flow and gets
okay.
over it. Yeah, we can.
Which date did you say?
The 25th
Of October?
of October, yes.
That's a Tuesday.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so the week after the meeting.
Yes.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, let's tentatively put it in for then. And then they'll kind of keep us under wraps too. It'll have to be short, sweet, and direct. So trustee retreat, possibly October 25th,
What, time? What's
7
the
o'clock. So he needs 7 o'clock.
In the morning?
No, no,
Um,
PM.
Yeah, sorry, I cannot come before. Although I work from home, but
It's all good. Okay. All right. So let's say that. Any other old business?
no, we'll add the print report. I'll add it to the next one.
Okay.
Just as a reminder.
Okay. New
Yeah,
business.
Ongoing.
Yeah, ongoing.
Policy review. So Yvette, you sent us a policy. I believe it was 3D printing.
Mm-hmm.
Is this just something we need to review and update because it's been a few years? It's in the
Yeah,
cycle?
this was in the rotation. There are no changes to be made.
I make a motion to accept as is. I'll second it. Any discussion of the 3D printer policy? 3D printing, I should say, policy. Okay, seeing none. All those in favor? 500.
Okay, and the second one I included in your packet is a policy from the New Hampshire Downloadable Books Consortium. And this is a request for reconsideration of digital materials. They suggest that the libraries that participate in the Downloadable Books Consortium, which is Merrimack, we do. This is basically your overdrive materials, or Libby. That if there are challenges for a book that's in electronic format, because you're going to have a print format of a book and it will be possibly also in electronic format, this is just the form that they are recommending we use if there's a challenge for that book.
Well, and there also very well could be books or audiobooks on here that we don't have in our actual collection.
Well, technically it's our collection because we have access to all
I
of
know what you're saying,
them,
but like, I would have them print, I should say.
Oh, for sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
And some of these are not purchased by us indirectly. They're part of the consortium, so.
They're part of the consortium and we pay into that service. So,
But the selection wasn't done by our staff necessarily. Yeah. Okay. Do you have any questions about this policy? Is this the same one every library has?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to make a recommendation that we, would we accept this, I guess, or that we use this form? Because it's really not something we're accepting necessarily, but.
I think you can say accepted.
Okay, so I'm going to make a motion that we accept the New Hampshire Downloadable Books Consortium request for reconsideration of digital materials form.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion?
So this will be used like if they have any questions regarding the book they have downloaded.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it's if they want to, if they have an issue with it and they want it to maybe be reconsidered or removed from the collection, so. It happens.
Okay.
Okay, so all those in favor? 500. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, the 22-23 general ledger invoiced manifest and open POs. I know, Janet, you had a question about something with the open POs, I believe. Did you get your answer to that about the discrepancy in the building line? I think it was payment for the iron railing, perhaps?
I think we were waiting.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
know Joanne said the fiscal year is still open,
Okay.
so that's one thing that's strange.
But there was like a $600 difference, I think,
Right.
between the cost. So could you find out from Joanne what that is?
I can find out.
Okay,
I forwarded your questions to her, but
Yeah.
I didn't get an answer back.
So is it that thing which is from still last meeting?
So no, so on, hold on, let me just find the right. There it is. On the FY 21-22 list of open POs, under iron, Mill City Iron,
Yes.
there's the comment that it says it looks like finance put the surplus funds into the PO, and it says 16,618 was expended for the interior stair railing. Our quote was for 16,018. So there's an additional 600, and I was just curious what,
I wonder if that's a typo.
I don't know. So
Yeah, I
just
was thinking the
curious.
same thing because although it does look like here the variance is 60,000 and that would be correct from the amount. Yeah, we'll just get an answer to it.
Yeah. So we are waiting on the town.
No, we're waiting on Joanne. So, I guess my only question, and I just saw it tonight, is that the 158502 on the general ledger is not listed.
In the, which one? Which one am I looking at?
So it's the line that the 60,000 went into. 158502. Under the general ledger, there is no
There's no 158502.
8502.
Why? Yeah, I don't know why. Because it's a report that's run.
Right. Like I said, I just happened to see it right when I got here. I went, oh, that's interesting. So maybe it's, I don't know why.
Okay.
And, I think it's just good to mention, Janet said she just found, noticed that now. Yvette gives this to us monthly, but if you're looking at something at any point and we have a question, that's, we'll just ask and we'll get the answer. No big deal. So, okay. If there's no further questions, we'll move on to the director's report.
So in my report, I included a list of all of the donations we received for the summer reading program, both adult. There were no donations except for the garden club plants, but that was kind of everyone. But what's listed here are the donations received for the youth program. 140 jump pass bookmarks, each good for 1 hour of jump time from Altitude Trampoline Park in Merrimack. 250 tokens, each valued at $1 from King Cone in Merrimack, and a box of truffles from Lindt Chocolate in Stratham. So if you would vote to accept all of those.
I'll make a motion to accept the summer reading program donations of 140 jump pass bookmarks, 250 tokens from King Cone, and the box of truffles from Lindt Chocolate.
I'll second that. Is there any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor? 500, and thank you to Altitude Trampoline Park, King Cone, and Lindt Chocolate for their generous donations. We appreciate it.
Okay. And we have concluded our interviews for a part-time circulation aide, and we would like to hire Ben Pittman. We have his PAR. You can vote to accept.
I move that we hire Ben Pittman for the 9-hour circulation aide position with a starting date of 9/26.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? 500. Thank you.
Okay, and I'll pass this to you.
Okay.
Just to let you know about Ben, because he's under 18, there are different youth hiring paperwork that he needs to have completed. And his starting is contingent on those being submitted to the library. So this is, instead of having a traditional background check for someone who's over 18, this is the route we go. I already mentioned Claire. I don't know if you had any questions about the report.
Has there been any word about the drains up at like the,
Oh, I think they were cleared,
okay.
you know. That was just something we asked Kyle to take care of.
Okay, so I do want to make sure that we address the CIP that you brought to us as part of this. So we're going to go before the town council to talk about our priorities when it comes to the capital improvement program. And looking back on past minutes meetings, I believe it was from July, we had prioritized those. When they went onto the CIP, we said priority, 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 but we do have a ranking order. So the first order, number one, was the slate roof, which would be something that we would look at paying with trustee funds. Correct me if I'm wrong at any point, please. The second thing, and would be the one that we would go forward and say, this is our priority for use of the CIP funds, would be the elevator, given the nature of if the elevator breaks, we do not have an elevator. It probably can't be repaired. So that was the second one. Then when I looked back, it was third was the sprinkler system, and fourth was the HVAC. So correct me if I'm wrong, but in order to move forward, we do need to get an actual quote from the elevator. They gave us an estimate. I think it was 248,000 or 284. I'm wondering if I'm missing at my 4s and my 8s. I'll have to look at that.
Elevator was the 184.
I know you said that, but I keep thinking it was 200. Why do I keep thinking 200? I don't know.
184.
Yeah, I think
Is
that's
it?
in what's in.
Oh my gosh, that feels like nothing now. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, it still feels like an awful lot. It's terrifying, but yeah, no, it's 100,000 less than I thought it was. So I had not looked. So I'll go back and double check that. I'm sure. I know that you sent us the estimate. Oh, but it wasn't a quote. It was just their
Yeah.
estimate on that. So we will double check that. But I think that's our intention when we go forward. And I can talk with Yvette more about this, but just to let them know that that's what our thinking is, that all these things are important, but the things that are really critical, the elevator, if it breaks, we don't have an elevator. So we need to address that immediately. So any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns? Anyone is welcome to join us on Thursday evening if you have nothing else you'd like to do. You're welcome to come on down. We'll be here.
In this room?
Oh, right here? Yes. Yep. Okay.
At 7 o'clock?
And I'm 7, yeah. And I was joking around about that. $184,000 is a lot of money, but we, it needs to be done. So, okay. I think that's all. Is there anything else from your director's report, Yvette, that you'd like to?
No.
Okay. Moving on to the treasurer's report.
This is for the month of August. So fines started with 4,505.37, and we ended with $5,171.62. And then special started with $43,064.84. And we ended the month with $41,140.13. The only other thing I want to bring up is there was a deposit that was made that got put into special that needs to move from fines to special. So it's $210. But I just need to move that money.
Do you want to make a motion of what you need to do? And
I'd like to make a motion to move $210 from fines to special.
I second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, this is
Why
just
did
an,
it go to fines?
It's just a deposit error.
Oh,
It might even be on here. Yes, no, yes. Under fines, it's under 810, the deposit for passports. It went into, it's in fines, but it should have went into special. So it's just a deposit error.
yeah, just for clarification. So is there any discussion on the move? Okay, all those in favor? All right, thank you for taking care of that, Janet. 500. Okay. Any questions for Janet about the treasurer's report? All right. Acceptance of minutes. We have the August 16th public meeting minutes. I was not here, so I will not be voting on this, but I did notice that under old business, the strategic plan date actually should be August 24th, 2022.
did I make a mistake? What was it?
It says September. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll change that.
Are there any other questions?
Hold on, not really thing. 16.
Questions, comments, or corrections?
So I'll correct that to, oh, yeah, it should be 24.
I think it was August. not
Yeah.
September, yeah.
I was in September doing an August.
Yep.
event. Okay, that corrected.
Thank you.
I'll send the corrected one to Yvette.
Yes.
Okay.
Is there anything else? I'll let someone who was at the meeting make a motion to accept them minutes. So
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes with that change.
you were there. Would you like to second it, Mike?
I don't know. So I second.
Okay. Any
Okay.
discussion? Any further discussion? Okay, and we'll
Janet, Mike.
okay. All those in favor? Okay. We could hold the vote till Karen
Yeah.
returns.
Yeah,
That's
we-
probably
yeah,
we'll do
we can
that.
do it
Yeah,
again
it just
once
occurred to
again,
me.
yeah.
Okay, let's just wait till Karen returns. So we'll hold the vote. All right, the motion is there, so we'll wait till she returns. Okay. Are there any other minutes that needed to be approved that I was unaware of?
The non-public, do we need to approve it or
Was there a non-public session that day?
not that day?
Yeah, it's not that day. It's
The
a
Ann Warren,
retreat.
not
No, the Ann Warner. You're right.
Ann Warren.
The which one?
Ann Warner
Oh, okay.
strategic plan.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw those.
Yeah, I sent
I'm
it.
sure you did. I just was saying I don't know. if
No,
I
that's why I texted you. Did you receive
Oh.
it?
saw- yeah,
I cannot, like, from my laptop, I couldn't see them going.
I didn't get those ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I can send it now. Yeah.
Do you?
It is in the same email chain.
Oh, you know why?
Yeah.
Because
It still shows trustee meeting, yes?
yeah, if you put in as the people,
Yeah.
library trust, I think it's library trustees. It's just a link for all of us
Mhm.
and Yvette, then you'll get your copy. Because Yvette's not even on this.
No, Yvette is not there, so I'll just.
So
send
let's,
everyone
why don't we
email.
do this? Why don't we hold off on those minutes? If you could resend those and we can look at those and approve them for the next meeting.
Yep.
Okay, that's great. So I'll make a note that we need to do that.
We
Okay.
corrected it, so it's fine. Now we have, is there any more corrections?
No, we'll just wait till Karen comes back, and then if you send us the other minutes from the retreat, since I didn't get those, I don't think, and send them to Yvette too, just to look at, and then we can vote to approve those at the next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, why don't we go through the committees? So, the Building Exploratory Committee, there's nothing right now. Friends of the Merrimack Public Library are having their book sale, and I did send out an email because I told the volunteer coordinator that I would let her know which trustees can help out and where. So if you could send me an email letting me know if you're able to help with the setup, or if you could be there on Friday or Saturday. The dates are September 30th is the Friday night, and then October 1st would be the book sale. So, and if you can do anything before that week before for helping and set up, which is right around the corner. So if you could just let me know, I will send those to her. So, okay. Alrighty. So is there anything else from the friends? That was our main topic of discussion, was the book sale and how to proceed. I think they're going to do it the same way they did the last one, which was great. It'll still be nice. Hopefully we can be outside. So. Okay, before going on to the Public Library Development Fund Committee, we need to vote to accept the minutes of the August 16th meeting as corrected. There was a motion by Janet and it was seconded by Mike, so we just need to take our vote. Okay, all those in favor? 4. All those against? 0. All those abstaining? 1. So we're good. Okay, we're official. So Karen, if you could let me know if you are available for the book sale at all, either as a volunteer during the week or on the Friday night, the 30th, or October 1st. I'm just going to kind of let the volunteer coordinator know. So she just gets one email from the trustees versus multiple ones. So
I think that I will be available both days.
okay, if you want to just confirm with an email to me in the next couple of days, then I'll let her know.
I'll do
So,
that.
Thank you. The Merrimack Public Library Development Fund Committee met at 5:30 this evening, so we have information. Yeah, they were just looking at the financials. There was some discussion about, maybe advertising to recruit some new members. Also, efforts to update their webpage, perhaps to contain language about different ways that people could make a contribution or a donation or remember the library. And their next meeting is going to be October 17th at 5 o'clock at the library. We can see the new carpet. So, anything else, Yvette, that bears mentioning? Okay. And Karen, the Town Center Committee, have they met at all?
Yeah, they met on August 19th. And the they had been the Town Center Committee did have a booth at the 4th of July breakfast, and a lot of questions. There were a lot of the new map. There was a reconfigured map that the Nashua Regional Planning Commission, yes, I think that's what it is creating, with different priorities for projects. And it's still being smoothed out and massaged. So, but I will get it to you and tell you what's been going on with that. Things are just moving along at a steady but smooth pace, and there's all kinds of town center video that's being made that will include the library, and talking about the detours and widening that are going to be going on Daniel Webster Highway, especially by Church Street and then Wire Road, and then the bridge over the brook there. That's right at the base of the MYA property. So that's going to be an interesting. Oh, and there was a question. Is there going to be a turkey shoot this year? And I don't know, the Friends probably haven't said anything about it.
The Friends have said they are not doing one.
They are not doing one. Okay. So I'll bring that back. That was a question.
I think they're going to be doing a wreath auction though again, so there'll be the wreath auction.
A wreath auction, okay. And different, people will be designing the wreaths from different organizations and so on. Okay. I will tell them.
And if the town center committee would like to contribute a wreath, that could be really cool. A
I
wreath
will
of
te-
Ma-
I-
a map
I
of
will tell them.
Merrimack wreath.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you, Karen.
Yep.
The Library Board of Trustee committee updates, personnel. I don't think there's anything for personnel. Finance. Nothing for finance. Okay. So, is there anything else to come before the board before I go through the September action items?
I have something.
Okay.
I included in your packets the quarterly statistics from April, May, June. You can review them between now and next meeting if you want. These were on long pieces of paper, so I'll pass it out. I know it's hard to see digitally, but. And I haven't, the department heads haven't met to discuss these. You know, I think, what?
Do you have a note? Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. We haven't met to discuss these, but I know in what we've been tracking in the recent years is that our activity is returning to pre-COVID years. That's one thing we've been watching. I think the other things, you know, the question for the board is, what do you want us to track? We have to report certain things to the state library for the annual report, but otherwise we can track anything. I know Janet had asked me, you know, what do you think about this? And I wrote you an email saying plenty of what I think about it. You know, I think the challenge with statistics is we have to record something for the state, but then it's in context. How are we interpreting what we record, and don't record something unless there's a reason for it. You know, one of the examples I had mentioned to Janet is, you know, how many questions do we get at the library at a public desk? But the questions can be anything from where's the bathroom to, I mean, wow, if you looked at the statistics sheet for the reference desk, it's broken down into what type of question is this? And it's a technical, you know, computer question or a notary thing or help with the copier. It's really drilled down to incredible detail. But what does that show us? Well, it shows people are using the copier. It shows they might need help with the copier. It shows that they're utilizing notary services because we have a count of how many services, you know, how many notaries, documents we notarize. But what do you want to know? You know, I mean, because I think it's shifting, and my thing about it is, you know, I think if we tie this back into the strategic plan, you know, maybe there are some questions we have to report to the state, but maybe we don't need to know certain things anymore. You know, I mean, I think the directional questions, I think it was important. I don't know, I think things have changed in how people use the library and how people interact with the staff. And I don't know that I need to know if someone asks, where's the restroom? You know, I'm more interested in the quality of the question or the duration of the question rather than it was a question. You know, when we do outreach and we're at, you know, National Night Out, we'll count how many people come up to the table. Okay. You know, I mean, does it matter? I don't know. Does it matter to you that people came up to the table? They're going to come up to the table. Does it matter if it's 320 320 or 330. It's everyone who is at the event. And what do we talk about? Well, we're going to promote our services. People will ask questions. Children's services, because it was a kids event, they had put together kind of like a scavenger hunt, and you can return it, and we gave them a little prize. So I don't know. It depends on what you want to know. And I think we're at a place, for me as a library director, and I've looked at a lot of statistics, and the library, how we interact with our community is maybe it's shifting. I think that has to do with goals and focus and mission. And what do you need to know? What do you want to know? One of the things, like, we might write down how many meetings we have at a meeting room, but we won't write down how many groups we had to turn away because we don't have the space for them. That's something I want to know about.
Yeah.
But we don't have to report that to the state.
Right.
So we don't think about reporting it, but it's certainly helpful for you to know about, we have to turn away groups because we don't have meeting space. How many times do people ask for a private study room? We know that they're asking these questions, but we're not recording it. So those are the kind of things I want to know. What would help you in steering the library and the future of the library? What kind of things do you want to know?
Well, those two examples are definites,
Okay.
at least in my mind. I mean, because those definitely show a reason, a legitimate reason to say our library isn't sufficient for the town, or this isn't the size. These are things that our library is lacking. Because we can see the trend that people need meeting space, they need study space, and we don't have that. So, yes.
Okay. I mean, think of things. Maybe as we go through the process of the strategic plan, things will come up.
I think, like to Janet's point, on a search tool, sometimes you as the administrator can see what people searched that the answer was 0 for, right? And then you can say, oh, we don't have any resources to support this need, so we need to buy this book, or we need to get a movie on that, or whatever. And I feel like that's kind of the same thing, that your questions that you just gave as examples were questions that were asked that we don't have the resources to support. But it's more of the physical plant resources that we don't have to support, that sort of thing. I think that's how you got the notary service to be so big. That's how you got the passport service to be so big. So some of that might be anecdotal. Maybe you weren't documenting it, but maybe there are some things that need to be documented to justify the pushing forth towards that service. So,
Okay.
well, and if anybody has any other ideas, you can just let Yvette know that, hey, I'd be interested in knowing this, or if there's this, or I'm sure, And I wonder too, if you just asked your staff, like, what are things people ask for that we just aren't able to provide because of our physical plant, Okay, thank you. Still back to me. Okay, September action items. What I have so far, I'm going to start with one for Janet, that she's going to move that $210. So the next one is I'm going to contact Paul McCallie about MYA and the MOU. That's easy to remember. Oh, I have another one for Janet. I'm going to reach out to Ann Warner about strategic planning. Sorry I didn't bring this up earlier, but Janet had written the MOU for the trustees of the trust fund, which you all approved. And there is a... Oh, you did not?
No.
I thought you brought it forth to a meeting. No. Janet made a draft of a MOU with the trustees of the trust fund. And there was one of the trustees had some concerns that about the language. So we were supposed to meet with her before it was brought to you. How's that? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
What's an MOU?
Memo of understanding, which really, in the case of both the town and the trustees of the trust funds, is just creating like a document that's institutional memory. It's just documenting our current relationship. It doesn't mean that that is a contract or that the relationship isn't going to change. It's just when this board changes, when people leave other boards, people leave the town, it's a document to refer back to. So we don't just say, that's how it's always been done, but we actually have a document that shows, yeah, we both agree this is kind of how we do things right now in this moment in time. So anyways, so that's for Janet and I, that we need to meet with as a finance committee with that trustee of the trust fund, and that's on me to set that meeting up, but we need to meet with them to work that out, the concerns. Okay. And Yvette, if you could just get me a copy of the elevator, if you could get a quote for the elevator, but if you could send me another copy of the elevator estimate before Thursday, I'd appreciate it. And if you could see if the vendor can come up with a quote, that would be even better, but I doubt we'll get one for Thursday. What's wrong?
No, I thought we had one.
We have an estimate. I don't
Oh,
think
it's
that,
the
but an estimate is different from a quote,
Sure.
right? We agreed that like before we would go before the town council, we would have a definite quote that would include all of those things. And I think they just gave us an estimate of what it would probably cost around, which is, we need something more concrete.
Yeah.
So if I'm mistaken and you have an actual quote that I don't know about, just let me know. Thank you. Are there any other action items for anyone else? Anything else you want to? Oh, you're all going to email me what you can do for the Friends of the Library book sale. Okay. If you're available at all. Okay. All right. Upcoming events. Oh,
You have your MOU and.
MYA. I wrote that down. Yeah,
MOU
I said
and
that
MOU,
one. Yeah.
yeah.
That's all right. Okay, upcoming events. The building will be closed to the public for carpet installation until September 24th. The Merrimack Public Library Development Fund Committee met today. We'll be meeting again on October 17th at 5 o'clock. The Friends of the Library next meeting is September 26th, 2022 at 7 p.m. Friends of the Library Fall Book Sale is September 30th and October 1st in the Clump Room, and we'll use the parking lot again like they did last time. And our next regular monthly meeting is scheduled for October 18th at 7 p.m. Anything else the board would like to say before we go into non-public?
Our tentative retreat date,
Tentative retreat date is October 25th.
and are we just going home to clarify that is there?
Yeah, why don't we all make sure that that works for us? And then, is there any way we could meet in the Clump Room, do you think, on that day, just to be in the library for the retreat? So if there's things we need from you or things we need from the staff, that's all right there before us. So, okay. So hearing nothing else, I'm going to make a motion that we go into non-public session per NHRSA 91A3 2A personnel. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, we need to do a roll call vote to go into that. So Karen,
Yes.
Sohini,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
and me. Yes. Okay, we are in non-public at 7:58.